Hello, welcome to yet another evening of me streaming once again. That is a naff way to put it. I had so many better ideas until I just clicked it and went live. And anyway, how are we all doing this week? Hello there, Tom. I can see you've arrived nice and early this week. Yes, just get through the usual gump for the beginning. Anyone who's new here, I'm late to the beard party. Mostly been playing through older games, emulators I'm a fan of. I'd like to play with original hardware, but I physically don't have the space or the kit to be able to do that. And when I say the kit, I mean the ability to plug the consoles into my PC to be able to record them. Yeah, so emulators are the secondary option I have, and to be honest, emulators have gotten so good now. The only difference is playing them on a CRT screen, which I'm not actually that much of a fan of. CRTs hurt my eyes these days, and I'm so used to just the static picture you get on LCD and LED screens. But yes, where was I going there? Yes, there's some links below if you would like to have a look. If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, you'll find a link to my Twitch. And all the other links as well that I'm about to mention. If you're watching live right this moment, there's a link to my YouTube where you can find all my VODs. There's playlists linked to the side. I need to add a few of those because I've had a couple of things since then. Yeah, I need to update that. There's a link to my Discord if you would like to come and chat during the week. I may also start organising some Elite stuff as well because someone on YouTube expressed a little interest in that. If I see them on Discord, I will definitely be looking into doing some stuff every now and then there. I already do with a couple of people on Tuesdays, but that's kind of a private thing at the moment. That I say private, I've been recording those and putting them on YouTube. Quite fun there. And there's also links to my book on Amazon and Kindle. I've done both the USA and UK OL stores, but if you use those, you should also be able to find your local region if you're in neither of those. I think that's everything there. Yes. So, last week had a mystery game stream. I forgot to change the game title in the stream details while I was live, and didn't notice it until after I was done. So, silly me there. But it's not a problem. It wasn't inaccurate. It's still a retro game. But there is actually a category for the game that I've been playing, which is Policenauts. Hello there, Swampy. How are you doing? It's got quite an audience tonight. This is a rarity for me. Yeah, so we started with Policenauts, a game that I have been wanting to play for a long time, being a fan of the original Snatcher. Dead 4 times in a night, yeah. Sounds about right. Yeah, because Snatcher was a game that I was lucky enough to have a physical copy of back in the day. I thankfully didn't pay a ridiculous amount of money for it, and now it's worth stupid money these days. So being able to stream that last year was a nice little nostalgia tour, and I thought I'd start playing the spiritual sequel or successor, done by the same team, Hideo Kojima again, Policenauts. So let's switch over to make sure I get the right one. Yes, yeah, the screen's blank because I'm actually going to be booting up the console here. Here we go. Because I noticed something in the boot up screen that is not something that you see very often in games. I think The Witcher 3 was one of the few ones that did it, and it was really annoying in how they managed it because you couldn't skip them. But there's a little catch-up thing or summary of the events so far. Skip that. And I thought we'd give that a look. That's assuming that the save game that I'm loading is actually where I left off last week. Because if it's not, I'll have to use the save state. Okay. So, yes, Act 1, because we finished the prologue last week, which was the entirety of Disc 1. That was a bit of a shock how quickly I got through that. I'm hoping the layout of the game is Disc 1 has the prologue, Disc 2 has the majority of the game, and then Disc 3 has, like, the ending. I don't know how many acts there are in this game. Snatcher had 3 in total, but it didn't have much of a prologue at all. So this is already a bigger game. I'm hoping it is bigger than Snatcher as well. Snatcher took me 4 streams to get through, and that was a game I was familiar with. So Yes, let's jump back into the game. Now, this should give me a little summary that I can read for where we got up to. View summary? Yeah, this was as far as I got. Okay, Jonathan's ex-wife Lorraine requests he look for her husband Kenzo Hojo, but shortly after is murdered by an unknown assailant. Jonathan returns to Beyond, taking the 4 capsules and the leaf he got from Lorraine with him. Having obtained Ed's help, Jonathan now begins his investigation. Ed shows Jonathan around BCP for the time being. Yeah, that is an incredibly brief description of what happened. Yes, here we are. So, yeah, basically, to stretch things out a little bit, Jonathan was part of the Policenauts. They were the police force, 5 of them originally, who were the police of the Beyond City, which was the first colony outside of Earth, and it was a floating colony. But there was an accident when Jonathan was testing out the I can't remember what the term for it, but it was basically an EVA suit, one that was designed for police use, and he was thrown out far away from the city. 25 years later, he's found in cryostasis in the emergency rescue bubble that he had he was tethered to, and he basically goes back to Earth doing private eye work. Because Beyond has pretty much become the place where the rich people are. And that's also where his wife ended up. She remarried, she had a child. The child's actually quite famous. She's a news reporter. You can actually see her on some of the screens of the game. That was quite an interesting touch. And this daughter would actually be about the same age that Jonathan is, because he was in cryostasis. He's still in his 20s, whereas his wife is now in her 50s. So the daughter is, again, in her 20s. So my wife came up with the idea that maybe he ends up dating the daughter of his ex-wife. Kojima's done weirder than that. But yeah, we made our way up to... yes, T-H-E-U. We made our way up to Beyond. One thing I noticed was the guy that Jonathan was sat next to on the plane going up had an injury in his arm, and he was also one of these augmented people who had this white blood, and the guy who killed his ex-wife also had that kind of white blood, but also an injury in the exact same place. And considering that guy's face is on the cover of the box for the game, kind of makes me think it's the same guy. Possibly even the same guy who arranged for the accident that left Jonathan out in space for 25 years. That's my theory anyway. So, once we got to Beyond, we went to the police station. This is the main lobby reception area, and we found our way down to the Vice Department, where we met Ed, one of Jonathan's old friends, and an ex-policenaut as well, who has aged 25 years. We also ran into the chief, who's one of the other policenauts, and a bit of reminiscing and everything. And yeah, now we're just wandering around. The professor in the lab has got the capsules that Lorraine had acquired from her husband that kind of indicated towards his disappearance, and he's doing an investigation, and I just basically need to kill time around the lobby until he's got the results, which pretty much is just go everywhere and do everything. So the first thing I'm going to do is move back down to Vice, because I want to talk to these two and show them more evidence, because I think showing them the evidence is one of the things that triggers the continuation. Okay, so getting used to the place, Jonathan. Right. So, I've only got the option to look. Or is it? Yeah, I can show. There it is. So Hojo is Lorraine's husband, who's gone missing. Okay, not bad for an old fogey. So he works for Tokugawa, does he? Yeah, Tokugawa was one of the policenauts as well, because there was 5 of them. There was Jonathan, Ed, the chief, who I can't remember his name. I think he was the Scottish one. Tokugawa was the one old Japanese one, and in the picture he had a really stern face. I actually thought he was Russian to begin with, but then it was a really pixelated image. So I've got a funny feeling he may have had something to do with it. The fact that he's become head of a really powerful corporation, a corporation that nobody wants to go near. Okay, what took we go? Okay, old fogey. I haven't heard that in a long time. Okay, same thing. So rain. So what's this? Who's that next to you? Oh, that's just an old memento. We all have our pasts, you especially. Okay. Policenauts photo. You look so young there, Chief. Okay. Gates, I believe, is the chief, I think. Right. Now, ever since he formed AP, he'd become a little too self-centered. Tell me about it. AP's budget alone is off the charts. I understand where Chief Becker's... Oh, Becker, sorry. It's been a week since I played this, so... Right. I understand where Chief Becker's coming from, but he's just another bureaucrat now, frankly. Let's go Gates again. Yeah, it's the same thing. Victor. He plays all innocent, but he's actually kind of a pervert. What a surprise. Hideo Kojima, and there's a character who's a pervert. I mean, hell, Jonathan himself can be a pervert. Apparently you can bounce the boobs of any female character in the game. We did that to the flight attendant, or was it? Did they call a flight attendant? I can't remember which term they used for it, but did that in the intro. It's like they fully animated it. And it's like, I knew the game had that, but I didn't quite realise how far they went. Can you believe he touched my butt once? Now, considering this is a fan translation rather than an official translation, that's probably pretty close to the Japanese, unless they toned it down. Oh, brave guy. So what happened? I was pissed, of course, and then he goes, I didn't think you'd mind. Yeah, that is the kind of thing that a pervert would say. As excuses go, that's not exactly bad. Ed. Let's go figure again. Right, okay. Why'd you move to Beyond? I was in Special Forces on Home being Earth, I believe. But the way the world's regions were stabilising and whatnot meant we weren't needed as much. So there's no excitement in that. I was dying to see some real action. Then the government started using more and more Frozeners. Frozeners, I believe, were the ones who have the artificial blood. Correct? They ended up getting all the work. Sorry, they ended up getting all the work. That's when I thought I'd try things here. I passed all the checks, no problem, but Beyond's the same story. All those bug-eyed albino freaks. Just lucky, huh? Okay. Ever heard the saying, never ask a woman about her past or a man about his future? Catch my drift? Yeah, a woman and her past, ain't that the truth? Okay. That, I think, is about all I can get from Meryl. So let's talk to Dave. Yeah, I see you looking at my nose. It just gets red like this. Can't help it. Okay. Oh yeah, I wouldn't look at it. Okay. Now that's going to be a detail. Because they don't normally put details like that in, like his nose turning red. They don't put details like that in unless there is some relevance to something. I've played far too many games that do things like this. Okay, Dave, sup? Right, ask about him. A pretty ordinary guy, interests aren't that different from most anybody else's. Okay. His hobbies. What are your hobbies? Guess what favourite thing to do is build kits with a box of maximum burgers. The PVC you get here is made in zero gravity, so you don't get any air bubbles or warping or bumps. I'm not sure if that would actually work, but I mean, Kojima logic. Everything comes out real nice. They're better built and cheaper than the models you find on Home. Yeah, it's got advice. Ever since AP started up, We don't do any of the dangerous work like drug busts that normal Vice units do. It's more or less basic collars for us. Gates. I don't agree with Chief Becker's philosophy, but I still respect him. I think maybe that's how a lot of people here feel about him. Gates was always like that. He was the centre of everything. He's got this charisma. Maybe it's a Scottish thing, I don't know. Victor. I think the colony might be a nicer place if there are more people like him around. Questionable behaviour notwithstanding. You know, pervertedness is something you really only find in terrestrials. Really? Really? Yeah, my God, exactly. Yeah, we Beyonds can keep it in our pants. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a moment. For the most part, anyway. Okay, I was right. Didn't know that. Yeah. That's just the way people brought. That's just the way people brought up here are. Right, let's show him the evidence. Hojo, is this guy you're looking for? Right. No. Hey, she's that anchor on News Order, right? I've actually seen that show before, but I can't quite remember her face. Right, police thoughts. Wasn't like your average Joe could go into space in those days. You had to be chosen. Okay. Right. Right, the AP room. Yep, this is where the chief is. Oh.
あの男。どうした？
旅はどうだった？ポリスノーツ。
AP だったのか。トニー・レッドウッドだ。AP の爆弾処理を担当してるが。
He was the guy on the plane. I knew he was going to have importance. Because he had a bandage on his right arm, and the right arm is where the attacker got shot by Jonathan after he killed Lorraine. And I think it was him. The ominous music is also leading me down that road.
エンプス乗りでは彼の右に出る者はいない。ミスター・ゴダードと呼ばれている。
宇宙酔いくらいで参るようじゃ、早くホームのママのところへ帰った方がいいぜ。
You bastard.
ここはビヨンド。あんたのような古いテレストリアルには厳しいところだ。
俺はお前のようにゾンビみたいになるつもりはないがね。ジョナサン、やめろ。相手にするな。
そうだエド。この次元装置の仕掛けわかるか？
なんだ、いきなり。
あんた、ホームで爆弾処理班にいたことがあるらしいな。
麻薬界入る前のことだ。
通常爆弾の設計者は解体されないようにいくつかの安全策を設ける。ここに赤と青のコードがあるだろう。最後のセーフティー装置だ。このどちらかを切断すれば解体できる。俺がセットしたとしたら、これはどっちだと思う？危険の赤か安全の青か。
レッドウッドのレッド。
ドカーン。アウトだ。コロニーに穴が開いたぞ。攻撃的な人間が常に赤を好むとは限らない。答えは青だ。俺ならいつも青にする。
Remember that.
ああ、覚えておくよ。
I diffused this earlier. Real state-of-the-art device. Terrorists have been using some pretty advanced components in their bombs lately, haven't they? It was a bomb that killed Lorraine. Yeah. I think I'm right. He set the bomb to kill Lorraine and then tried to get away with it. Took a bullet in the arm and I think the foreshadowing on this is a little over the top, but we'll find out. I may be wrong. Why'd you ask me about it anyway? You never know when terrorists could strike. Even an old-timer like you should be prepared. I don't know if I want to have to defuse another bomb. From what I understand, there's going to be some bomb diffusing in this game somewhere. So you never know when you might have to deal with one of these. Okay. Right. Oh, a few too many. These terminals display the data sent here around the clock by the operators. The guys in the lobby, right? Yeah. That's body armor spacesuits APs use. It can take quite a number of hits. Yeah, for protection around the torso that might be good, but for the limbs it's not great. Then again, I think the limbs are going to be protected in the EMS things, or whatever they're called. If they have their helmet on, they can go out to space just like that. Spacesuits have seen some development. He's like a corpse with that complexion, not to mention the look on his face. We call them the living dead around the station. Oh, that's not going to have consequences later on, is it? I don't blame you. Okay, let's talk to him. Got a minute, Redwood? You what? Ask about him. My commanding officer is the chief. My compatriots are the guys you see around. You're neither of those. Oh, well, fuck you too. I don't have to answer your questions. Okay. I don't have to talk to anyone outside of P. That includes you, Ed. He's a totally different person from the plane. Oh, yeah. He's clearly villain material. That, in case it hadn't hit you, that was an act. What? We can modify our personalities anytime we need to, all part of our training. Again, another thing that's leading me towards thinking he's an assassin. Yeah? He's got the skills to be an assassin, and someone with bomb skills as well. Ask him about Lorraine's murder. Lorraine? Who's that? Don't know anyone called Lorraine. He really is like a completely different person. Spaceship. On the space plane, you said you'd gone to visit some family on home or something, didn't you? It wasn't work related, it was personal. I don't have to explain myself to you. Answer the question. I don't remember saying anything like that. Right. Okay. Let's see what he says to these. Who are they supposed to be? I couldn't care less about your photos. Okay, fuck you then. Well, yeah, let's just walk away.
感じ悪いやつだな。一度も瞬きしなかった。フローズナーはみんなだ。あれでノーマルらしい。ノーマル？異常だぜ。
Yeah.
彼らは目に人工水晶体の眼内レンズを装着してるらしい。視力は常人の2倍はあるって聞いたがな。あいつらが俺たちの子供かもしれんなんてな。心配はいらん。少なくとも俺とジョナサンの精子は使われていない。
Fair point.
だろうな。エドが遺伝的に優れてるなんて。お前は宇宙恐怖症だしな。それにしてもエド、奴に対しておかしくないか？
Oh, me too.
そうか。奴と何かあるのか？フローズナーとは合わないだけだ。
Right, let's go talk to the chief again. It's Head Honcho. Let's go talk to him again. How's the inquiry going? Right, so let's ask him everything. Just cover everything we can. Ask him about the ex-policeman. I think we did before. We've all gone their separate ways. The day you left us will probably be the last time we were together. Yeah, well, the last time the rest of them were together, I think. BCP? BCP is better equipped to do its job with the introduction of AP. Traditional cops have had to more or less shift duties. Okay. Don't know why that was so difficult to read. AP. BCP, as it existed before, was simply unequipped to deal with space's unique environment. That's why we started using EMPS as well. Biggest mistake the Policenauts made was carrying carrying over a police system from home to the colony. This isn't home, it's a space colony in the middle of nowhere. AP has given us a start in transforming our new force into one fully adapted to Beyond. Yeah, but I still think people will still be people, even in the different environment, so I don't see why the policing would have to work differently. So there's possibly a political reason behind that, but then again, this is Kojima. And we know how, what's the word, contrived some of his plot lines can be. Not so much Death Stranding. I didn't think that was very contrived at all. That was quite a piece of weird brilliance. And I think this is one of the things that this game kind of indicates the direction he was eventually going. But anyway, okay, AP's members. AP also carry out a number of missions in zero-gravity areas. In order to prevent calcium loss in weightlessness, they have hybrid artificial bones, joints and auditory ossicles. Therefore, they don't need to worry about the effects of extended work there. They're indispensable around here. Talk to Redwood. There's definitely something unusual about them. What do you mean? Well, you have an elite class of people supposedly going to protect the general population. That just doesn't work. Okay, people don't look at it that way, Jonathan. This is outer space. Rules are different here. Not entirely sure why. AP's work. We conduct organised peaceful operations outside the colony as well, in accordance with the agreements on the rescue of astronauts, the return of astronauts, and the return of objects launched into outer space. So clean up, basically. We have to tread carefully around this, however. Uncouple us, always breathing down our necks. We could end up with an international incident on our hands if we're not careful. Okay, EMPS. In addition, EMPS don't possess any singular points. Doesn't make sense. What are those? A singular point occurs when you have a limit to how far you're able to move a joint in a given direction. Previous manipulators have all had singular points due to shortcomings in their joint drive mechanisms. The moving body 3D analysis algorithm developed by Tokugawa Heavy Industries has succeeded in eliminating singular points from EMPS. So in other words, the joints have full degrees of movement, no limits. I can see how that would be useful, but difficult to control. Wayne's murder. Naturally, we don't have jurisdiction over OLA here. Old Los Angeles, I think that is. There's nothing we can do. It's difficult for us to obtain any sort of detailed information. Our relationship with the police on home isn't the best. That's why I want you to keep this under the radar, understood? Yeah, of course, thanks. Okay, Shane. Hojo. This is the guy who's gone missing. Seems very like all the other people you find at Tokugawa. And then for the Rain to be killed as well. This is you and Lorraine, I see. What are you planning on doing, bringing a photo like this with you? Try to forget about what happened and move on. Lorraine would want the same. Yeah. And Policenauts. Look at how young we all were. Right, so that's pretty much everything I can look at there. So, where's the recent? Outer Space Treaty. Okay. Right. So let's cheerio Gates. Let's have a look at a few other things. These terminals output data on Beyond. Yeah. Okay. BP officer. They can access any sort of data on Beyond from these terminals. Guess the days of hitting the streets for leads are over, eh? Yeah, you can do it all from here. What's that thing there, that tube in their arm? I don't see any in the artwork there, but as part of the dialysis procedure for their artificial blood. Dialysis? You have to undergo dialysis every 240 hours with that type of blood, so they can survive 10 days without... Well, I say survive. They'd probably be able to survive longer, but they'd start to have problems beyond 10 days. Human kidneys can't filter it. Must be a pain in the arse. 340 hours is 10 days, meaning they could never go AWOL. Exactly. Some people say they designed it that way. Yeah, kind of like the 4-year lifespan in Blade Runner for the Nexus 6 replicants. But it clearly looks like there's some inspiration there. He's gone back to Blade Runner again. Yeah, Kojima loved Blade Runner in the 90s. See if they get anything different from these guys. They keep their helmets on even when they're in the station. Helmets are linked to BCP's network. The visor displays a 3D image of whatever data they're working on. What's that over there? That's the hangar for AP's EMPs behind the chief. Our mechanics and systems engineers are all employees of Tokugawa Heavy Industries. They look like he was straight out of those robot animes that were big when we were kids. Nice little bit of self-referencing there. Okay. I think I've done everything in those 2 locations. So let's talk to this guy. Find what you're looking for, detective? Just getting started. Hey Ed, now you can add babysitting terrestrial douchebags to your job description. This guy is a dick. And who are you? You happen to know Agent Scully and Mulder? Got a bit of an unusual situation here. Now that's a 90s reference if I ever heard one. Don't talk to him, alright? He's a few rounds short of a mag. With most of the original cast, as in the ones who are still alive. Which is a shame considering I don't think any of them are much past 40. That could be interesting. Not sure how I feel about it. Right, let's see what else we can see. Here's a cop here. They used to do what AP does now. This screen up here. It's a map of Beyond. Government monitors virtually the entire colony around the clock. I think that's probably the same one, isn't it? Yes. And that up there. Okay. Information on anything you can imagine gets sent here in real time. These guys process it and send it into the databanks. They seem friendlier than the APs at least. Except this guy. Ask him again. I can't believe you flew all this way to see Ed. I still can't believe you won't shut the hell up. He's always like this, trust me. Let's just let it go. Okay, right, in that case, the only thing left is the shooting range. Aside from the, forensics. Want to practice? Still a pretty good shot. You're not rusty or anything. I live in OLA, you can't pick up your mail without firing off a couple of shots. That sounds more like Texas. You're always good at shooting, I remember. I don't think I'll be pulling the trigger out here anytime soon. I'd hope not. We don't go around shooting up places. All this is purely for training. Right, the first thing to do is put on some ear protection. Ear protectors, you should wear them when you practice. When the noise adds up, you'll damage your ears. More bang for your buck than VR. Okay, let's put those on. Right, okay. Yeah. I'll have to play around with the settings on this, see if I can have the, see if I can use the mouse as a light gun on here. I think some emulators do allow you to do that, so it'll be interesting to test. Okay, target mode. Right, let's have a quick trade. Oh, none of those particularly good. Quite a few misses as well. Oh, I like the distancing on the pointer. I did not notice that previously. Yeah, that was not good. That was not good at all. Oh well. So what do you think? Not a bad setup, huh? Okay, let's take a look. That's target modes. Man target. It's a common type of target. I think you've gotten worse. I'm sure you can do better than that. I suppose you do tend to be more critical when it's someone's first time. Practice makes perfect. Okay. Here's a hint for target mode. You should aim for the target's green area. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Green area is worth 10 points. The other area is worth between 1 and 5. With the man target, the middle of the chest is worth 10. The rest of the chest and head are worth 5. The shoulders hit's worth 4. Yeah, okay. Yep. Was reinforced. Just so you know, fire any of the walls during practice and your gun will reload automatically. Okay. The walls have special sensors in them that link directly to your gun, even your recoil. Okay, that's an interesting way to take a game mechanic of shooting away from the screen to reload and putting it in the universe. It's a bit of a weird one, but then, as I've said multiple times, this is a Kojima game. Right, okay. Well, I've had a bit of practice there. So, forensics. That's enough of that. Let's get back to things. Don't forget to single ear protection. Oh, yeah.
ジョナさん、薬莢を拾っていけよ。リフトガンは薬莢が出ないんだ。苦情が殺到する。
なるほど。わかった。エドは訓練しないのか？
いいんだ。
どうして？お前の腕を久々に見てみたいな。
俺はうまくない。もう目が良くないんだ。
おかしなやつだな。
おお、ジョナサン、分析結果が出とるぞ。ゴールビーも頑張ってくれた。
えらく早いな。
当たり前じゃ。ゴールビー。
Oh, very dramatic.
まずジョナサンから預かったカプセル剤じゃが。ジョナサン、無駄足だったかもしれん。わざわざビヨンドまで来たようじゃが。4つのカプセルはどれも徳川製薬が扱う新薬じゃ。インドメタシン ZL。これはインドール誘導体を含む解熱鎮痛剤。
Anti-inflammatory。
次はパラディソン。これはペンゾジアゼジン誘導体を含む精神安定剤。
Okay。
そしてハイファイトミン。これは B12 を含む水溶性ビタミン。
High vitamin。Hi-Fi。
最後はフェドレジン。これは塩酸エンドルフィンを使った交感神経興奮性鎮害剤。
Antitussive。
ビタミン風邪薬、咳止め、精神安定剤。
麻薬の一種ではなかったのか。
どうやらそうらしいの。これは単なる薬じゃ。それも発売済みのな。
なぜ北条はただの薬を大切に持っていたんだ？
何か細工があるんじゃないのか？製薬会社の社員なんだろ？
カプセルにマイクロフィルムを隠すとか。
そうまで言うのならこれを見てみるんじゃ。4つの薬品の成分と化学組成の分析結果は数値も何もかも徳川が申請している薬と全く一致する。
But
さらに
あまりよく知られてはおらんが、正規の薬には全てその内容薬が何であるかを示す製剤識別コードというものが薬の表面か包装に記号化されて示されているんじゃ。
Useful.
この白い部分のマークが徳川製薬製を示し、その横の数字が薬品名を示しとる。これらのカプセルもこの規定に従い製剤識別コードの表示と内容が一致する。
I'm
つま
waiting
り
for the bar.
ごく普通に大量流通している薬じゃ。どれも特別な薬ではなく何の共通性も見出せん。いや、ただ
どうした？
一つ腑に落ちんことがある。
Yes.
これを見てくれ。これはカプセルのコードの拡大画像じゃ。こうしてみるとこのマークは確かに徳川製薬の識別コードなんじゃが、見るんじゃ。三つ葉葵の上の部分が欠けているじゃろ。今のプリント技術ではこんなミスは起こさん。
ああ、確かに欠けている。
しかもこの欠けている部分が右と左で対になってるんじゃ。4つのうち2つが左の刃が欠け、残り2つは右が欠けている。偶然じゃろうかな。
Hmm.
プリントミスでないとすると意図的な印。徳
Yeah.
川製薬品の偽物じゃないのか。
それにもう一つ、このカプセルは封入式でなくキャップ式を採用している。キャップ式カプセルは半世紀も前に使われなくなってるんじゃ。
北条はどうしてこのカプセルを？このカプセルに何があるんだ？そしてこのカプセルのためにロレインも。
しかし徳川製薬が関係していることは間違いない。
Everything screaming
徳
Tokugawa.
川製薬社員の行方不明。不可解な徳川製薬のカプセル。
ビクトル、葉の方はどうなんだ？
こっちの方はズバリじゃったよ。この葉はブラックポピーの葉じゃ。
ブラックポピ
黒消しだ。合成麻薬ナークを作る原料となる。
ー。ああ、ニュースで言ってたやつか。
Hmm.
そうだ。毎日合成麻薬ナークに関する事件は絶えん。
やはり麻薬絡みか。
ビヨンドにおける消し栽培は何年も前に完全に撲滅したはずだ。これはホームから密輸したものだろう。
となると、北条は黒消しの密輸に関与したのか？
Hmm.
それが見てくれ。これはこの葉の断面図じゃ。普通ホームで育った植物からは必ず大気汚染物質が検出されるんじゃ。
This has grown and beyond.
この葉は綺麗なもんじゃ。綺麗すぎる。
つまり地球外で栽培されたものということか。
Grown and beyond.
さらに限定を裏付けるウイロイドの一種が検出された。
ウイロイド。
これがそうじゃ。植物細胞内に感染して増殖する病原体じゃ。しかもこれは5年前にビヨンド内だけで大流行したウイロイド S 型。
ということはこのビヨンド内のどこかで黒消しが栽培されているということか。密輸ではなく。
で、この葉が半分の意味は？
それはわからん。切断面から人工的に切断されているのは確かじゃが。
ナーク取引の際の割り符かな。
さっきの製剤コードと関係しているとは思えないか。
Hmm. Yeah. The thicken definitely does plot.
とにかく北条の失踪にはナークが絡んでる。そしてその舞台になっているのが徳川製薬。
Hmm.
ますます厄介だな。これまでにも徳川と麻薬の関係はささやかれていたんだが、上からの圧力もかかってうやむやになっている。
Hojo could.
数年前に本部長が AP を使って大々的に捜査を続けたが失敗に終わった。
それからか。ゲイツに根性がなくなったのは。
確証がつかめんことには手を出せん。
Hmm.
ジョナサン、この件は思ったより根が深そうだ。下手すれ
Yes.
ば死人が増えることになる。
ともあれ、徳川製薬へ行ってみようぜ。北条の勤めている会社だ。何かわかるだろう。
徳川製薬なら案内しよう。ただし慎重に行こう、ジョナサン。
他に
Yes.
質問は？
Yeah, I have a feeling that it being Tokugawa may be a little bit too convenient. I think Tokugawa was involved, but I don't know. Let's have a look at what else is here. There's a few documents back here. So that, my friends, is a clipping of a thesis. To be specific, the thesis. It was in a famous academic journal on home. I decided to major in pathology after I read it. Okay. That paper changed my life forever. I think I've seen them before, actually. Right. What, you don't see many people my age? Plenty of us on home. Right. Okay. Ask about... Yeah, let's go through everything. Why did you become a forensic pathologist? Doctors deal with the living. There's always a possibility they'll screw up and kill the guy. You can't kill someone if they're already dead, can you? I suppose. I mean, that's one way to make a decision of your career. Forensic medicine is less stressful than regular medicine, wouldn't you say? Well, when you consider the fact that if you make a mistake in forensics, you could end up putting somebody away for something they didn't commit, and possibly let a real felon go. So, by the way, we hear you're somewhat of a degenerate. Degenerate? That's an interesting choice of words, translator. Now, who said something like that? You like to touch butts, don't you? Oh wow, the fact that this game has this kind of you find out what information and then it leads on to something else, that's actually impressive to think that they did that. The amount of script preparation you'd need to do in the game to be able to do that is quite something. Oh, that, yeah, so it's a secret to staying young. Grabbing butts is the secret to staying young? Well, grab your own. Unless it's got to be someone else's. Oh, Kojima. And I'm a doctor, I know. Oh, this guy's hilarious. Secret to staying young, I've got to remember that one. Job. Frankly, AP gets most of the real work. I hardly ever get to do anything. I'm still as good as any of them. All they ever do is throw things in their fancy schmancy analyzers. You sound just like Meryl and Dave. None of you guys are fans of AP. Aid. He's a big help here. He's a whiz when it comes to analyses. Doesn't make up for much company though. Quite the machine, isn't he? Yeah, if I was in OLA, that would have taken a week. Yeah. Okay. Hojo's disappearance. I'm actually here looking for a missing person. Supposing he's already dead, how possible would it be to transport his body outside the colony? You could never take a body outside colony beyond single-handedly. You've got a pretty tight security system in place. It would be easier to transport them out while they're still alive and kill them somewhere else. They become stricter and stricter about space debris every year. And also, it would be tricky to get them outside, kill them while they're out there, because then there's the coming back, because they'd probably have the records of who went. Which leads me to think that Hojo's still on Beyond. Narc. What can you say about Narc? I saw a little bit about it on the news. It's a drug that first became popular with astronauts for relieving the pressures of their jobs. It's since spread through beyond and the rest of space. And something else just popped into my mind. The fact that this has been an epidemic, maybe there's problems on Beyond that nobody wants to talk about. Like there's some psychological issue and narc is the only thing that's relieving people of it. Kind of like the joy drug in We Happy Few, just not to quite the same extreme. It's a semi-synthetic narcotic created through supercomputer drug design, though black poppy opium serves as its base, of course. Even a few milligrams can kill you. Yikes. It's difficult to detect in drug tests because it's taken in such small amounts. But even so, small amounts would be incredibly potent, so the effect of them should be detectable. That's why it's so hard to prosecute users. They just need to look harder, that's all. We've always had ways of detecting trace amounts of drugs for a long time. RIA testing, for example. Well, that's true, yeah, some screeners have just stopped trying. Anyway, that's one of the reasons NARC's become so popular. People know the chances of being caught are next to none. Yeah. Black poppy is a delicate plant, similar in ways to some orchids. Cultivating them would require a lot of money, effort, and the right technology, all of which Tokugawa has. So yeah, it's all hinting towards Tokugawa. But that just seems too convenient. I've said it already. It's more than a one-man operation. Well, with the right machinery, it could be a one-man operation or even a no-man operation. As a thought. Tokugawa Pharmaceuticals. Tokugawa Pharmaceuticals is the Tokugawa Group's fourth biggest money maker after Tokugawa Heavy Industries, Tokugawa Electronics, and Tokugawa Construction. So pretty much everything here is Tokugawa. They were one of the first companies to expand into space development, and that was started, I think, from the guy Tokugawa who was a policenaut. They developed the first made-in-space versions of drugs like interferon and urokinase. They were practically an overnight success. The development of the immunosuppressive wonder drug cyposloidine, however you pronounce that, used in organ transplants, revolutionised pharmacology. Lots of big words here, I'm struggling. Though, of course, the development of masked transplantation, where you mask the organ's antigens with antibody fragments and avoid post-op rejection, ended the need for it. They led the pharmaceutical industries, not only on beyond but through space. They worked with the cancer drug, Aclitaxel, their SAS medicine, calcium foods. Their list of successes goes on and on. Yeah, so it's really indicating that this company pretty much owns everything. It's a shame. Who are these guys? They look Japanese. This is Kenzo Hojo, the man who disappeared. This guy you're looking for. Anyone who wears glasses here has to be a terrestrial. Which, if I remember, Lorraine did as well. Yeah, because she's a terrestrial. Show Lorraine's photo. Who's this? What are you talking about? That's me. Not you, I meant the fox next to you. Oh, I love some of this writing. You call it an old memory, a really old memory. That's what I'd expect from a terrestrial. Beyonds don't look back on the past the way we do. Maybe you understand that picture. Maybe you understand what that picture means to me. I do. Okay, policeman's photo. Look at you. We all thought you guys were incredible. You've never told me that before. Really? Well, now you know. Oh, Victor's hilarious. There's probably going to be some awful thing that happens to him later in the game. Okay. Right, so, actually, I'm going to do a quick save. Do it right. Wrong one. Yeah, and there was that thing with the Snatcher where Harry turned out to be linked in the story, and that was only found out after. Yes. Yeah, so I think to leave. Actually, let's go to Vice. Thanks for your time, Victor, and talk it through with Dave and Meryl. Hello, you two. You're used to the place. Alright, let's see. Talking. Ask them about Narc. I saw a news story on Narc on my flight here. You guys aren't in charge of Narc, are you? It's not easy getting Narc off the streets. AP's been on it, but it might be too big a thing even for them. Okay, what does Meryl have to say? Yeah, what is it? Ask her about Narc. Even though this is technically Vice, AP handles everything Narc. So basically AP handles everything? We could never deal with something like that on our own. I think we're going to have to. Seems like one hell of a problem. You guys feel the same way, huh? It's not just them. All Beyonds would tell you the same thing. The Chief hates Narc more than anyone I know. Where's that? And since when? Let me guess. He had a child or perhaps a wife who died because of Narc. That's my theory. Why would you especially hate Narc? I don't know what she's talking about. Right. Actually, let's go back to the AP room and ask the Chief about Narc. Hey, Gates. Ask about Narc. Yep. Aye, Narc. Unfortunately, Narc is everyone beyond. We have an anti-Narc team in AP, but it just continues to spread. That big of a problem, huh? They were talking about it on the news as well. A large percentage of the crimes which occur here are related to Narc. People have said that Tokugawa was involved with the drugs, haven't they? Aye, I know what you're talking about. We aren't able to prove a thing. How much pressure did Tokugawa put on you? Look, he's got more power than every politician here put together. Oh, that really does give us some information, doesn't it? Previously a Policenaut, then becoming the head of a multi-part corporation, and now he's got more power than the politicians. But I don't think he's the one responsible. He's too high up. And it'd be too convenient. I've said that multiple times already in the last hour. It's too convenient for it to be Tokugawa himself. Okay. Move. Let's go to the lobby. Cheerio, Gates. Because I think from here we can leave. Yes.
よし、ジュノさん、捜査に出かけよう。
Yes, so what we want to do
BCP 前だ。
is head to Tokugawa Pharmaceuticals.
足はそこに BCP のポリスカーがある。あれで現場へ向かおう。BCP の最新型ポリスカーだ。ビヨンド内では無公害車両しか走行してはいけないことになっている。排気ガスゼロ、電気6、ソーラー4の併用車だ。
それでここにはガソリンスタンドがないのか。
充電スタンドならあるがな。ホームと違ってバッテリーの重金属回収も徹底されている。
What about these ones back here? That's an officer's personal vehicle. Those are vans. Like minivans. These guys are a pain in everybody's ass parking here like that. Okay. Let's go for a drive. Our car is the one next to that. Oh, okay. The one I first clicked on. Okay. Oh. I think going to Hojo's home first would be a good idea.
ダメだ。
No can
工
do.
場の住所が
We don't know where he lives. Ah,
どうして
Just-
BCP のデータバンクで簡単に。
徳川系の社員情報は BCP のコンピューターからはアクセス。
even the police.
徳川に関するあらゆるデータは企業秘密として法律で守られている。だから名簿に戻っていない。
バカな。この時代に。
Good question. Right, in that case, we've got to go to pharmaceuticals. I mean, what kind of a government would allow a company to refuse or to basically mark trade secrets, even from a police investigation? I mean, yeah, it's the kind of thing America would want to do, but I don't think they could. Well, let's head over there.
ジョナサン、乗れよ。
何年ぶりかな。江戸の無茶な運転を体験するのは。
ホームのスポーツカーとは違う。そんなにスピードはない。安心しろ。
Interesting choice of words.
サポートシステムを搭載した知能カーだ。
ちょっとは安心だな。
Oh, who's that taking off?
なんだ。
あれが最新のパトロールの方法だ。コロニー内をわずか数十分で巡回できる。
俺たちはまさに時代遅れだな。
さあ、俺たち流の捜査に出かけよう。
It still feels weird seeing anime in games.
ジョナサン、タバコはダメだ。
禁煙者か。
コロニー内での喫煙は禁止なんだ。
Ooh,
このタバコは副流煙の出ないものだ。肺がんになるのは俺だけです。
ここはホームとは違う。ここでの喫煙は立派な犯罪だ。しかも肺を提供するドナーにもなれん。道徳的にも恥じる行為だ。
火はつけん。口に加えてるだけだ。
しかしいつからだ。昔はそうなかったろ。
迷惑はかけん。
ここにしばらくいればやめられるぞ。
そうかな。
そうさ、必ずそうなくなる。そのうちな。
I agree with you, Tom. Yeah, I know there's a with some of the screenshots I've seen, there's a section where you're on a road and there's a bike that you're chasing after, and you've got the marker on the screen for shooting. So I think there's a section where you're trying to shoot a bike out. How interactive and how well animated that is, I don't know, because I've only seen a screenshot. But yeah, that was felt like a Tarantino conversation there. Right, Tokugawa
ここが徳川
Pharmaceuticals.
製薬のビヨンド研究所だ。まずはここから捜査に取り掛かろう。
Right, and actually think about it, it's just gone 10 past, so I'm going to have my break now. Because I'm cutting the streams in two, it works slightly better if I have my break slightly earlier than I had been previously, because in the second half isn't like half the length of the first half. So, yes, yeah, I'm really interested to see how this goes, because yeah, that whole detail with the drugs that Hojo had being pretty much nothing is suspicious to me. I'm wondering whether there's a mixture of the four of them that has some kind of importance. But yeah, the part of the symbol being missing as well is interesting, because it makes me wonder, considering those out of those four capsules, two of them had the left side of the top piece missing, and the other two had the right side of the top piece missing. That makes me wonder whether there's another two sets of four capsules that have the bits missing that kind of works into a puzzle later on, where you've got to get the right combination of six of them to make something. And there's kind of a gamified thing there, but yes, the yes, the second definitely plots here. So yes, for anyone watching the VOD on YouTube, that is going to be the end of this half of the stream. The other half is going to be up. The playlist will be updated for that as well. But for those of us on Twitch right now, I'm just going to set up my holding screen so I can leave it on there. So I shall be gone for about 10 minutes, just to have a quick break, and then we will be back onto this investigation to see where things go, and then see if we can find a sensible place to finish off for the evening. So yes, don't go anywhere.